Hi, I'm Christian Jauregui with HJ Tech, and today I have for you guys a video of a guitar I made with plywood. Hope you enjoy. So the initial part of any project for me always starts with a drawing. I'd like to get a good layout of sort of what I have in my mind, put it on paper, and that's what you're seeing here. It's just those drawings, initial drawings of what I thought the guitar was gonna look like. So in here, I was able to get my hands on some old plywood that somebody had for some construction project. I didn't care because this was gonna be mostly just for learning how to work with wood in general, and so I just wanted to buy tools, get to know wood, cut it, make a mess, whatever. So I didn't want to spend a lot of money on actual wood, and that's what you see me here doing here. I used regular glue. I went to my local hardware store and bought a bunch of little pieces of wood that I used for the curving. Nothing fancy, just didn't know what I was doing and figured the guitar has all these parts, wanted to have the same. Another cool thing that I started doing is buying tools, and here's one of my favorite toys. It's a bandsaw. I use it to cut all kinds of crap, and this was part of the exercises, learning how to use different tools. So over here you see me cutting the shape. And yeah, like I was saying, just I looked inside the guitars and I figured, oh, look, they have bracing, they have all these little skeletal parts inside. And I thought to myself, yeah, mine needs to have that too. At that point, right, I didn't know the importance of the bracing and all that. I know much better now, but um, at this point, I didn't know anything. So I was just sort of doing the same, right, monkey see, monkey do type thing. And hoping for the best. In retrospect, the guitar didn't need any of this because it's plywood, and plywood is extremely sort of rigid. It really didn't need any of this stuff. So all of this is just for for fun, as they say. But yeah, here I'm cutting some of the sound ports for the guitar. I thought at the time, oh, this will be cool, right? And not much logic to the placement other than like I at a high level, I thought about it. I was like, okay, maybe if I do this, this is where the guitars are gonna vibrate, so the sound will come out of these holes here. I think this is probably the best location for it, right? So I wanted to do an experiment also where like I covered certain holes and left others open just to see how the sound would change. And it definitely does change it, which was a fun part to see the different tonalities. Sometimes you get more basses, sometimes you get more uh, high-end, range sounds. So that's fun. Over here, I'm just gluing the part where I was gonna put the neck. Um, in here, you can see a very poor use of a router, probably the most unsafe freaking thing in my hands. But hey, you gotta break some eggs to make an omelet. So anyway, here's the neck. I bought one that was already, the general shape was done, but it needed to be further shaved down. So I did a lot of the shaving of it, sanding, etc. And matching to the body of the guitar. Over here, I put a support for where the bridge was gonna go. And I stupidly thought, oh yeah, it needs support there. In a regular guitar, it does. Not on a plywood guitar. Like I said, all of that bracing inside could have done without that. Also, the neck, I put like a metal rod there, like you normally do with electric guitars. Unnecessary. But whatever. It was fun, right? Again, learning experiment. So glued all that. And at this point, I was getting close to being done with the whole neck and all that. Over here, I started putting the frets on the guitar. This was a really fun part of the project because that's when I started finally seeing what a guitar was gonna start looking like, and so I had to shape the little frets for the correct width, shape them a little bit. That was pretty fun too. Then it got to a point where I needed to put the tuners in there, so I had to get creative with the way that I was making the holes. I didn't have any special tools, so just a regular old drill in there. But it worked out. I was able to put these really pretty black tuners in there. It's just gorgeous. I ended up reusing those for another guitar I made, but it's a video for another time. So right around this part is I wanted to make this guitar an electroacoustic guitar. I knew from the start that the sound wasn't gonna be great, so I put some pickups there at the back, um, and just did the wiring there, put some electrical tape, and then I decided to glue the back of it, strung it and tested it a little bit, did a couple things. More of my extremely dangerous routing capabilities there. No one lost a finger or an eye though, so that's good. Count that as a victory. No, and I was being careful. The kids don't do this at home. Another tool I got was this little Japanese band saw thing that was so amazing. I use that for everything. Or shaving there of the neck, 'cause it never ends. And here you can see what it looked like before I started painting or doing anything on it, right? It's got the holes, it's finished for the most part. It's ugly in some parts, but nothing that paint would uncover, make look better, right? Neck was still a little thick. It still needed to shave some more, but overall, yeah, there, there it is. So strung it up and time to test.
So yeah, there it is, folks. Here's the finished product. I'm quite proud of it for it being my first guitar. I made this little cover. Now I'm gonna make another one so I can cover these little holes and see how it sounds. Cause after all, this is a prototype guitar, so I want to see how it sounds. So anyway, let's try some tunes. So that's how it sounds without amplification. Let's see now. I'm gonna try to hook up my amplifier and see how this bad boy sounds. Plugged in, as you can see, it's got this plug. I put it on this side right here. That way I can sit down like this and chill out and play it. So I'm gonna try the same song I was just playing and see how it comes out. It's out of tune. Anyway,
So yeah, at this point, since I can't live well enough alone, I decided that I needed to further work on it. So this time around, I removed more wood from the top of the guitar because I figured, the plywood's very, very thick and it wasn't giving me the sound I wanted. It sounded okay, but it wasn't great. And so I tried to shave some of the front, which disfigured its face pretty brutally. And then I did the same thing on the back here. Um, Again, some of my dangerous routing skills there. And funny story, went to the beach in Florida after a huge storm, found a bunch of these really pretty shells that are beautiful when they're wet, but when they're dry, they're not that great. So decided to glue them onto the guitar. So sonically, of course, they don't do much for the guitar. It's more of a visual aspect. It's sort of cool because it looks like dragon scales. Um, and so anyway, I glued it, restrung the guitar, played it, liked how it sounded with the removed wood. It improved the sound. Over here's it's a really quick video that I unfortunately recorded vertically, but in any case, you can see it pretty well. Finished product, I painted it, some parts with color shift. Um, I further finished it, but this is the only video I had of it. But anyway, you get the gist of how it looked at that point. The back got pretty mangled, but color was pretty there. So yeah, that's pretty much what I finished up to that point. Very recently, I decided I didn't like the sound of it again and redid the whole thing again. But that's a video for another time. Also made another guitar, which I will share with you guys in another video. That one's actually made out of real wood, so it's pretty nifty. But in any case, thank you so much for watching. This was a really fun experiment. I would do it all over again, and I appreciate your time. Thank you guys. Have an awesome one.